You need this ability for Towers of Mark, and it is not talked about enough. Stay tuned. Hey y'all, J-Town here. Today we're talking about the Towers of Mark, and one of the big hurdles that people have an issue clearing is Thar, right? And no matter what tower it is, you can face the same trials at different levels of that. And some of those, the mobs that just keep respawning with the boss every time. You got some where the mobs, if you attack the ads, that the boss gets health and vice versa. You got some where the boss is like stealthed until the enemies die. You can't attack the boss and it's just a big pain in the butt. Well, this one, Thar, has just a huge shield. And as you get higher and higher, that HP of that boss to which his shield is based on gets higher and higher. And it can be a real problem. You could just be bouncing off of that shield and never do enough damage to just break it, right? So there is a lesser known ability in the game, not even ability because it doesn't have a specific name. It comes in a few different forms. You can't search it via the gallery, and that's shield removal. Shield removal is huge, and there's not very many that can do it, and for some it takes some insane investment. So we're looking at this guy right now. His shield is beefy, right? Now, I've got a lot of support on this team. These are my best force heroes. Yes, there are harder hitting heroes out there, but that shield is huge. Let's just look at this boss for a second. Look at that HP right there. He has got 9.18 million, and 10% of that is going to be his shield. And he is going to go fast. His speed is over 2K. He's immune to control effects. He takes less turn effects, so you can't really slow that down, right? And that safety device, he's going to get himself the shield. 15% of that max HP, even worse than I thought. 15%. Oh, you can't block it. It can't be stolen, right? So you have to remove it or do enough damage to break through it. Just like that. Alright, so if you've gone through the game enough, and you've got some of those heavy hitters and some of those factions you needed, or you've gotten some of your mythics, you can make the argument that just do enough damage to punch through those shields, but that takes a lot of investment, and we want to talk about things that are more easily accessible if you've pulled these heroes, another alternative path, right? Not everybody's going to have the Lucifer, right, or have the Yoko that can drop a nuke, or different things of that nature to really punch through those extremely beefy shields. Man, they are huge. So in this video, we're just going to talk about all the heroes that can remove or steal or get rid of shields. Now, obviously, stealing doesn't apply to all of them, but we're just going to cover all those shield mechanics because it's a lesser talked about and it's not got a name to it. They're just kind of under the radar. So that's what this video is about. So we're just going to go down the list, no specific order, and we'll tell you how easy they are to get and what you have to do to make their shield removal stealing work, right? So the first one is in Sunset Sages. It's Alahan. You don't see a lot of talk about him, right? But he is one that if you pull him, he's a legendary. You don't have to do any extra investment to be able to do it. It's right on his A4. He removes all enemy shields, right? Doesn't steal, he removes them. And a chance to inflict stun. Doesn't require exclusives, it's just straight away, right on his A4. If you've got Alahan, he is Force Mark in the Sunset Sages. So Force Mark Tower, he's a great shield stripper. Next up is going to be Horus. Horus was recently redone. Now, this one requires a lot of investment. It's not going to be an easy one. The only shield removal that he's got is on his exclusive 3. So down here, Storm of Crows. He's got an additional piercing rate, and it can remove the shield from the target before dealing damage. Now that's huge. It makes him a monster. But the investment it's going to take to get exclusive 3 Horus is pretty large. But we're talking about all the heroes that have the ability. Can't leave them off. Alright. Slacto. You're seeing a trend here, right? Force Mark, right? Horus was a red, but now we're already back to another Force, and we're still in the Sunset Sages. So his actually comes on his A2, the Dust Storm Roar. It removes all their attribute buffs, yes, But with exclusive 1, it'll remove all the buffs, right? So shielding is just a basic buff. It's not an attribute buff. So you have to have exclusive 1 for this ability to do so. But that's a lot easier achievable than Horus exclusive level 3, depending on your luck. Maybe you got super lucky in the last banner. Moving on to the character that you saw me starting out with, Gunner in the Doom Legion. Again, Force Mark. You're seeing kind of a trend here. Force Mark, Doom Legion. He has on his A2, removes all enemy shield. It's not a chance, it just does it. And requires no exclusive weapon investment. So just right away on his A2, if you pull 1 copy of him, you've got that in Force Mark. He's actually a very good champion. I really like the way he does his burns. Definitely going to be building him up. I've got another copy of him. Great champion for what he does. And the next one I really want, but I can't seem to get him. Red Mark, Timmy. Timmy is just cool looking. Nameless Brotherhood, Red Mark, and it is on his A2, but you do need exclusive 1, right? So his basic ability on A2 without the exclusive will just remove all attribute buffs, a lot like we saw on Slackdow. But with exclusive 1, it'll remove the shield. But better than Slackdow, it gives the shield to your actual allies. So if you've got Timmy, Red Mark shield stripping is going to be covered for you at exclusive 1. Now, one that you probably run into in the campaign and has caused you a headache is going to be Shielder, which his name should be Unshielder, because that's what he does most predominantly. Shielder is cool looking, got no face, but he's got a freaking, big old waft of hair. So his A2 removes the shield from enemy target. And then some other bonuses happen if he got the shield off of them. So you don't need any exclusives. You just have to pull a copy. And you've got Green Mark this time. Shield removal. That is great. Great. Moving on to the Eternal Sect. We've got Kharid or Kharid, depending on how fancy you want to get with it. So on his A2, he removes all buffs. It's just a straight buff. So it's not specifying attribute or anything. Shield is included in buffs. So there you go. It removes it. It doesn't steal it, so it would still work for you in the towers. And he is of the Red Mark. Don't need exclusives, just need to get lucky enough to pull him. And he is a pretty doggone cool looking champion, I have to say. So that is all of the main heroes that were all legendaries. We're not talking about any mythics that can do crazy damage. These are all legendaries. Those are where you pull them and what exclusives or not you need to do it. And now we move on to the honorable mentions. Offner. I know. So this one right here, it doesn't work on all things that are shielding. That's why we only give her an honorable mention. It steals a buff. So remember when we checked that specific boss where it said it cannot be stolen? Not going to work for you those, but we still want to mention it because it can affect shields. So if you get exclusive 1 on this, it'll steal all the buffs from the target. So that can help you out in arena or maybe something in the campaign, but not necessarily those high towers. So just letting you guys know. Going back to the Sunset Sages, to one of the heroes that I cannot stand in this game. I hate fighting this guy for this reason. Nasakma. Nasakma's A4 steals all their buffs, so you don't need to have the exclusive nothing. All their buffs, which includes the control buffs, includes attribute, and then basics like shield. This guy, who is a menace to fight, can help you, and he is Blue Mark. So if you've got him, do not get rid of him. You may need him for this purpose. There are some heroes we need to mention that can still do things to shields, not necessarily getting rid of the shields, and we want to mention them just as other options if for some reason you're having a tough time with shields and you don't have any of those legendaries that can just remove them. The first is going to be Freyr. Freyr is in the Holy Light Parliament. He's at the Blue Mark. And he deals extra damage based on the strength of their shield. So he is excelling at hitting things that have shields and doing more damage to him because of that. In addition to the emblem that gives you more damage on the shield, if you need somebody to help you tear through those, he can be a good option for you. Almost his entire kit is about ignoring shields or doing bonuses because of shields. Really interesting, plus he's pretty cool looking. Now this one's having a bit of identity crisis. In beta, he was called Esther. Now it's Aisi. And this dude is, Force Mark, but he's only an epic. But it really requires exclusive 2, which for an epic is not as bad to get as a legendary. But his A2 here, with exclusive 1 can ignore a shield. And exclusive 2, if there's fewer enemies on the battlefield, then the damage can be increased a bunch more. It still even says Esther's Gift right there in those abilities. So if you invest into this character, while he can't get rid of shields, it can help you punch through them and ignore them to kind of, beat those things down. It's if you don't have a whole lot of legendaries, you're mostly epics, just want to mention it on the list because of its ability to go around shields. And the last one on the list that the more I look at it, almost makes me want to build this guy, but I have way too many other things ahead of him in priority list. And that's Ikea. And his is a passive, which makes it more fun. Every attack ignores shields and deal 20% more damage to targets that have shields. So if you really invest in this guy in green mark, he can ignore shields. That is crazy. So to really remove a shield, it's going to be a legendary, right? And some of them require some heavy exclusive investment. But there are a few little epics who can do other things to shields. I just wanted to make a list of those heroes that I have found that have shield avoiding or removing or stealing abilities that may help you out. If I have missed any and you find some, put them in the comments below. If you like this video, give you some insight on what heroes you might want to stick with. Maybe it gave you some more thought on more value to some of those legendaries. Like the video and subscribe, help the channel grow. Alright y'all, I'm J-Town, and I will see you in game.